What is up, Retromaniacs? Welcome to Short Prints. My name is Mike. His name is Joe. His name is EP, and we're here to talk about cards. This week, we're going to talk about our Mount Rushmore of 1990s rookie cards. Joe, get us started.
I'm going to start us off where no one thinks I would start us off at.
Okay.
Not football.
What?
I know, it's crazy. It is crazy. But for some reason, for 90s cards, the one that jumps into my head, for some reason, right out of the gate, 1996, Topps Chrome, Kobe Bryant rookie card. But it needs to have the Hulk coloring. It can't look normal. I need the green coloring of Kobe. I mean, I'm not a basketball guy. I'm not, I only collect football, but I see that card a lot and it screams 90s to me. I love Topps Chrome. I'm going to talk about Topps Chrome for another card on my list. And just the Topps Chrome was just coming. Was that the first year or second year of Topps Chrome? But it was just coming into its
first year for basketball.
First year,
yeah. So like, and Topps Chrome has not aged well over the years in terms of the early stuff because of the filming and the discoloring and everything. So for me, that card kind of encapsulates that. And of course, Kobe is one of the greatest to play. So yeah, 1996 Topps Chrome basketball, Kobe Bryant with the green Hulk tint.
EP, did you have him?
I do have, but Kobe will be mentioned later. But
not that
that's
one?
That's not going to be my first one. First one's going to be
one.
No. I'm my first one.
I did have Kobe on my list too. So
okay, all right.
That's a iconic card from the 90s. I agree with you, Joe. Has to have the Hulk coloring though. Yeah. I don't want that picture up there on the mountain without the green tint to it. So
the green
totally
tint.
Agree with that one.
Speaking of green tint, right in the background there, buddy.
I do. That's why I have that
lighting. Perfect.
Yes,
perfect.
I set that all up perfectly. All right, EP, what's your first one?
Well, 1993 SP Derek Jeter. I think there's probably somebody else who have that one on this list. I mean, in my opinion, there is no more iconic 90s rookie card than that one. There's a reason why we went to the National and saw that case full of graded, autographed 93 SP. And there's a reason why that photo made the rounds on Twitter, because that is an amazing case of cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally agree with you on that. He's on my list too. He's on my Mount Rushmore right next to the Hulk. And I agree. That is, out of the 90s, probably the iconic card. I mean, SP, that was the first year of SP, was a brand new thing. Again, we talk a lot about how people today, younger people, might not realize the increments that everything jumped up with some of the new products that came out. Like SP, those foil cards were just wow at the time. They were unlike anything else that was out there. Obviously, if you collect it graded, the condition was terrible to try to find those in a great condition. But that's part of the appeal of the set to me too. I like a set that has such variation that's hard to find ones in perfect condition. But yeah, I remember opening those first couple packs and getting those foil cards and just thinking, wow, this is totally unlike anything I've ever seen. So great pick. I
didn't have Jeter on my list. I would have, again, if I was doing just iconic cards. To your point, Mike, I almost had the 94 SP Marshall Faulk rookie on my list because of all the things you just said. That was just, those SP cards were just so cool, so condition sensitive. I have a Marvin Harrison SP rookie that's a PSA 9, which I remember us getting back in the day in the 90s, early 2000s, when we submitted and we saw it was a 9, and both of us were shocked back then, because that's just such a hard set to grade. It's so condition sensitive, the edges, all the chipping. Yeah, that's a great card. I can even appreciate it as not a baseball person.
I just want to say one last thing. I have a Manny Ramirez and I have Javi Lopez. I have a handful of those cards. I did not have the Jeter, and I probably will never get one because of the price right now. But it's one of those cards that, as a Yankees fan, I've always wanted one of those, but I don't own one.
Maybe if you had a Mike Trout card or something that you could sell to fund a Derek Jeter I don't know. If only you had one. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys already picked two of mine, so let's go back to you, Joe. We'll pick your second one there.
So my second one, gotta separate the art from the artist on this one. He's a terrible person. More stuff has come out to make him a terrible person, but I remember collecting football back in the mid 90s, late 90s, and this card was one of those cards that you didn't see a lot, but it was kind of iconic. 1991 Stadium Club Brett Favre rookie card. It pains me to say it, but I remember being 16, 17 years old, and Brett Favre was just MVP, just killing the league. And that card was the card. It was Stadium Club and Fleer Ultra both came out. I think their first sets were both that year. And very similar sets to Fleer Ultra and Stadium Club, really known for no borders, known for great photography. And it's kind of ironic they both came out with Favre cards in his Mississippi State uniform or Mississippi?
Yeah, Mississippi State, I think.
Mississippi State. And that Stadium Club card with the Stadium Club logo down at the bottom, that card to me was the Montana rookie of people collecting in the 80s. That was that in the 90s. And still really cool card. I obviously, I don't have one. It's not my PC, but it is definitely a card that reminds me of that era. And it was a big card back in the day that people were trying to pick up.
And please remember to @Joe Day in your comments about that choice. Don't
any volleyball comments, any volleyball stadium or whatever comments. Yeah, @Joe Day 178.
@Joe Day. I'm not dealing with that. Okay, EP. Did you have that?
I did not.
I did not either. So give us your next one.
All right, I'm going to go with my Kobe Bryant card, and this is the one that I own. It's my favorite one that I own is the 96, 97 Fleer Ultra. Him doing a reverse layup, and it's just a really cool. The photo is great. Ultra is known for awesome photography, but back in those days, and I love that card. It's not the most expensive Kobe I own, but it's my favorite one.
So. Nice. I also like the EX. I thought about putting that on my list, but
I'm kind of surprised that one didn't make your list, Mike.
I just feel like the Chrome, like that's the iconic card. So putting it on the Mount Rushmore, I'm going to do that. All right, I'm going to go with a football card. I'm going to choose 1990 Score Supplemental Emmitt Smith.
Wait, I thought we were doing rookie cards. What isn't that an XRC?
No, it's not. It's a rookie card. The RC and XRC stands for rookie card. So yeah,
I thought it stood for fake.
It's fake rookie card. The X is fake.
Yeah. Come on, we're not here to debate that. It's a rookie card. It's on my Mount Rushmore. You guys can't change it. Nothing you can do about it. My Mount Rushmore. I got up there on the ladder and I got chisel and everything out there.
I need some fireball after that.
You can't do that. But yeah. I mean, Emmitt Smith, obviously an all-time great. And like for the junk wax era, that card is iconic. Like there aren't a lot of cards that came out in that time period that really had that kind of value. That was always like the holy grail of the football cards from that time period. And, you know, number one football card on my list, and he's up on my Mount Rushmore.
So full disclosure, I almost put this one on my list. It got beat out by Kobe, but as I'm sitting there looking at it, I go, EP's going to give me shit. So I'm going to not put this on my list.
When do you ever care what EP says?
All the time, man. All the time.
I love when EP gives you shit. I like the back and forth.
How dare you pick that card, Joe?
XRC,
put an XRC on your list. Are you kidding me?
all he did was take a shot of Fireball for me, so I'm okay with that. All right, I guess where are we at here, Joe?
All right, I went up to 1999. This is a classic. 1999 Pacific.
Smith. Oh.
No. He was number 5. He was number 5.
Okay.
1999 Pacific. Nope, very close though.
On couch?
No, stop it. 1999 Pacific Tony Horn rookie card. Okay.
Oh,
this one I love. It is a classic. I think if people don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know anything about football cards. Joking aside, this is also Kurt Warner's rookie card.
No.
The dual Kurt Warner, Tony Horn rookie card. Warner has more valuable cards. EP said this, the same thing about the Kobe rookie that he chose. He has more valuable cards, but this is one that really resonates with me because I didn't open up playoff contenders. I didn't have that kind of cheddar. So I opened up a lot of Pacific, and it was such a weird card because it was a 2-player card. Pacific did a lot of that. Skybox did a lot of that back in the day too. So it was like that card that I remember chasing when I was 18, 19 years old. And it's his first one. Pacific came out usually earlier in the year. So it was really his first rookie. And I have one in my PC. I absolutely love it. And Kurt Warner, I mean, obviously he went on to a Hall of Fame career, but that card, that cheap, probably $1 a pack Pacific card is one of my favorites in my PC. I have a couple other Warners. I might add a couple, as I keep collecting, but that's the one that I think of when someone says Kurt Warner rookie card and I close my eyes. That's the one that comes to my mind.
Great pick.
Yep.
Definitely not on my list.
Not on mine either. That's great though.
Yeah,
wow, suck it, Kurt Warner. Suck it, Tony Horn.
Like that's a little aggressive.
It is.
I'm on beer number 2 for the day.
What number are we on here for you, EP?
Number 3.
Okay.
I'm going to go with my. I think my actual number 3. I'm going to wait and hopefully one of you guys takes it. But for me, the number 3, 1990. Because I have 5. The 1990 score Frank Thomas rookie card. In my opinion, I realize that probably the 90 Leaf is probably more expensive, but the 90 score to me is like easily one of the most iconic rookie cards of all time. And it's just his face. I'm normally a big fan of more of an action shot, but there's something about that card, the design of that card, along with the portrait. It's a really cool card, really stands out, and it's one that I own a low grade copy of that I'd like to get a newer one. A better one.
It's a great card too. Like I'm a big fan of that like 89, 90, 91 score because they were so simple and clean. And I don't know. I just think looking at where cards have gone after all these years, when you look back now, even like the 90 Leaf, the simplicity of that actually stands out, I think. And the 90 score was just a beautiful set. And that card, like I think I have a nice CSG copy of it, or did I sell that? I might have sold that.
I think you sold,
but I still have a couple more of those rookies. So if you want one, I'll dig one out for you. But yeah, just a beautiful card. I very iconic. Not on my list, but I can't argue that one at all.
The Frank Thomas I think of obviously is the Topps no name. I mean, I see that a lot. I watch a lot of grading card reveals from Elite Go 3. So I think of that card as the Frank Thomas card, and I'm not a baseball guy, but that one always stuck out in my mind. Where would you rank that in your Frank Thomas rookie ZP? Is that?
I love it. I love 1990 Thomas. Like even the no name on front, like the no name on front is like it's like a unicorn. Like it's like you're never gonna never get that. But I love 90 Topps, and I look at that card as I love it. But for some reason, when I think of Frank Thomas rookie cards, the score one is the one that pops, and I would say that probably 90 Topps is probably second or third, with the Leaf one kind of in there. Even though I've never seen a Leaf, I've probably seen it in person, but I've never held one of the 90 Leaf Frank Thomases. And
wow.
I'm probably going to buy a box just to crack it open. It's not super expensive, so just to
for
get
the
one of
channel
at some point. Well, of course,
for the channel, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Well, leave it to Joe to put the cart ahead of the horse yet again. But my fourth is the 1990 Topps no name Frank Thomas. Thanks for stealing my thunder on that, Joe.
God, I'm a genius. I am the smartest man alive.
Like, yeah, here we go again. But yeah, I mean, I put it on my list not because like the 90 Leaf is actually my favorite Frank Thomas rookie card, and like that card was iconic back in the day. Nowhere near as much value to it now as it used to have, but the fact that the 90 Topps like no name is an error card, and from a time period where there were a lot of errors, but that one error in particular is probably in the junk wax era, that is the error that was made, and the value that was assigned to it. Having that happen with a guy who was a rookie that turned out to be a Hall of Fame baseball player, such a great player, such a popular player. I just think it's iconic, and that's why it's on my Mount Rushmore, even if Joe gives it away before I get to talk about it.
Should have been quicker, man.
Should have been. I can't get a word in front of you, though.
Listen, I know we're supposed to be short on short prints, but I want to talk just a minute about this card. Do you guys remember like opening up 1990-91 Beckett's? Joe probably not because it's a baseball card, but you would open this up and you'd see this Frank Thomas, then the NNOF. Next to it, and then you would see the price, and you're like, what is this card? This legendary card.
Yeah.
And like the crazy story about how there was actually a sheet or part of the printing press, they forgot, they didn't add the black at the right amount of time. And that's what happens. Like there's just black missing from some of the cards, but that's obviously the most iconic one. There are the handful of cards that had that happen to them, but I mean, they're probably all pretty expensive.
And he's in his college uniform in that card, right? I believe that's his college uniform.
No, I think it's his White Sox. I think it's still just the old school White Sox, I believe.
I don't even remember. I should know that. I've had a million of those.
Yeah, it's on your Mount Rushmore, Mike.
Shut up. You ruined it anyway, so it doesn't even matter anymore. I'm climbing down. I'm putting my chisel down. I'm just done. So.
No, it is a college uniform card.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're number 4, Joe.
How can we get through a Mount Rushmore of 90s cards and not talk about Peyton Manning? What is happening?
Ooh.
We're waiting until the very end, I guess. I'm throwing Peyton Manning in there.
I remember
1998. Not Eli. No, maybe next week. We'll talk about him next week. 1998. And I was torn between two, but I landed on Topps Chrome. One of the first cards I ever graded was my 1998 Topps Chrome Peyton Manning card. Came back a BGS 8. I think that was a little harsh. Might have to. No, I'm not going to crack it. Got to keep it in the OG BGS case. Topps Chrome. We've waxed poetic about Topps Chrome for as long as we've been doing this podcast, probably. And that card is just it's such a great photo. It's the same photo as Topps, but obviously, but it just looks so much better in Chrome. And that card, the Randy Moss card from that set, are my two favorites. I was kind of going back and forth on which one to pick. But yeah, the Topps Chrome Peyton Manning, just the goal. I think 98 is the best looking Topps Chrome football card, the best looking set. So yeah, had to go with Peyton Manning, one of the greatest to ever do it.
Great choice.
Did Peyton make anyone else's list?
He was one of the contenders for my list, but he did not make the final cut.
I considered the SP and did not put it on.
Would have been the Ultra for me for some reason. Like I like the 98 Ultra.
That was the one I was debating between. Was Series 1, right? Series 1.
Yeah. In the Tennessee uniform.
Uniform.
Yep.
I posted that on Twitter when Tennessee was playing Alabama, and I have that card as well on my PC. So it really came down to those two cards. But I landed on the Topps card. That's the one I would keep. If someone said you could only keep one Peyton Manning card, that's the one I would keep. So that's why I threw it on the Mount Rushmore.
Okay, great choice. I guess we're down to our final face.
Yeah,
you're gonna chisel out there. You got a little bit more room.
I told I came into this.
It shouldn't be so painful.
Listen, I came into this and I said I got 2 football, 2 baseball, and 2 basketball. But then Mike said you can't do 6. But the problem is within those 6, there are 2 each for the cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my one. I'm going to say it. I was hoping that Joe or somebody would take it, but they didn't. And I'm going to say my runner up. 1998 finest Randy Moss rookie card. I have like 2 of them. Randy Moss is probably my favorite receiver that's ever played the game. I mean, they actually have people get mossed now. I mean, he's become like this thing. My runner up would have been the 97 or the same year, 98. The Skybox Metal Universe, which is just an incredible card in my opinion as well. But I got to pick the finest. Like that's my when I was going back through the cards after this whole thing with the Pandy and everything, and go back and open up my boxes, and I found those like, oh my gosh, I love this card. I'm gonna definitely send one in to get it graded for sure. I don't know if it'll be a 10 or not, but I need to have one of those graded in my PC and say this is my card I'm keeping forever. So
can't argue Randy Moss.
I tried to sneak him into my list as well.
Yeah, I I thought about it. It came close. I was actually I was thinking about putting the Topps Chrome of Moss in over Peyton Manning, just because. I mean, if you collected football cards back then, like 6 of one, half dozen the other. Like you pulled either one of those guys out back in 1998, you were excited. So, and we were huge Randy Moss fans. How could you not be? He just dominated the game, like, and made it look easy. Like I saw Jerry Rice play, and Jerry Rice is the greatest wide receiver that's ever played the game. But Randy Moss just looked like a guy that could go out there and decide to do whatever he wanted to do on any play and do it with ease. And never saw a player like that before.
Unless he played the Giants, unless it was the Super Bowl against the Giants, then he couldn't. But
wow. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Speaking of the 98 Topps Chrome Randy Moss, just a little side story. So when we sent cards first to get graded, we sent a batch to BGS. We sent a batch to PSA. I sent a 98 Topps Chrome Randy Moss to PSA, and it came back at 10. Not in my collection anymore. I'm sure I sold it down the line to you at some point, Mike. But back when it was probably worth $200 and not whatever a PSA 10 Topps Chrome Moss is. Neither one of us have it now. That's the moral of the story. No, but I remember how excited I was to get that card back in a 10 because that is a really cool card. The one knock I have on the Finest is the Photoshop. So it's actually a Marshall card in a Vikings Photoshop. I know that. Thank you, Alico 3. I know that from him, but that is a great card. That is an absolute great card. Would you have the film on it or film off of it?
Film off if I'm getting it graded for me. Oh yeah.
Okay.
For sure. I'd love the refractor, but I can't afford that.
Yeah, you can't sell that Mike Trout.
If only he had a graded Mike Trout card to sell, that he could buy something else that he really wanted. Yeah,
if only.
All right, well, those are pretty good Mount Rushmores. People watching along, let us know in comments what your 1990 rookie card Mount Rushmores would be. And next week, we're going to wrap it up with the early 2000s. So stay with us for that. Should be a lot of fun. See which Tom Brady card Joe picks.
Which Tom Brady we all pick.
All four, right? Can't just be Tom Brady across the line.
I'm sure yours will be, yes. Even though All right, guys, that was a lot of fun. See you next week. Take care.
All right. See you.
See you later, boys.